Hey y'all, Rick Sky here, and I wanted to provide a first impressions or initial impressions video for the Osmo Pocket. Now, at the time of filming this video, I filmed one video with the Osmo Pocket. So check it out, expand this video's description, check the link there and you can find that video. But it's entitled DJI Pocket First Field Test Video. But I want to talk about, these are just my initial impressions. So first of all, I think a lot of R&D went into the design of the entire system. If you look at the bottom, even this case that it's in right now, it's got a cutout so you could stick your the USB-C cable in to charge it. And also it's got a cutout there. In my case, I'm using the lightning style connector for my iPhone if I choose to connect it to the iPhone. That's one of the best things about this camera, is that you don't have to connect it to a smartphone. It's a completely standalone device, and that's how I filmed my first field test video, was just hand holding it. The case is very nice. If you're familiar with Apple Watch, as soon as you open this and you look at the little buckle piece, now the Apple I think is a metal type material, this is plastic, but it seems very similar. You take it out of the case, there was a wrist strap that I optionally attached to the case, so I think that's kind of neat. But the device itself, I really admire simplicity, especially for its intended use case. I mean, this is an action camera. Right now it's not in any sort of waterproof housing. It's not accessorized with any sort of mounts. This is just the base Osmo Pocket. I keep forgetting Osmo Pocket. I'm thinking about the other Osmo names. There was Osmo Mobile, Osmo Mobile 2, etc. But yeah, and this right here, you can see I've got my lightning style connector for my iPhone. But see, that just slides out, and you can replace this with connector type for other phones. And if you don't want to have any sort of connector, you can just put the little thing that came on it in there. Now, it is worth mentioning that I did need to physically connect this to my iPhone to activate the Osmo Pocket for the first time. The device itself is very intuitive. There's two buttons on it. There's a record button and there's a power on, power off button. And then on the bottom there's your USB-C slot. I love they went with USB-C instead of the older style micro USB, because USB-C, it can go in either direction. And I think it's probably a faster cable. I think USB-C is faster than micro USB cables, but I may be incorrect with that statement. But anyway, it's really nice. It's got on the side, it's got your micro SD card slot. Expand this video's description, and you can find a link to the micro SD card that I'm using. You know, so far, recording the first video, didn't encounter any problems with it. To power on the Osmo Pocket, you just push this button here that doesn't have the red on it. It'll initialize, and then you'll see there, you can see the screen on the Osmo Pocket. And it gives you a battery life remaining. Well, it flashed the battery life percentage remaining when I started, and it said 88%. And that's pretty impressive, because I think my first field test video, I think I recorded that was about probably 12 minutes. Watch the video and tell me how long it was. And I was fumbling around with the menu interface too, so that probably consumed a percentage or so. But yeah, you can see, you've got a very small viewfinder, you can see what's going on there. And that's really nice, because most of the time when I use this, I'm going to use it not attached to my iPhone. I'm going to use it standalone. That's what makes it so great. You know, something so small, something so lightweight. When I'm backpacking and when I've got the Sony Alpha camera that I'm filming this video with, multiple lenses, a microphone, you know, all of that gear adds up in size and weight. But having something so small and so lightweight to complement my camera and drone arsenal is really good. And again, that's great that they included that screen. I find the screen to be very high quality. Now, obviously, it's not going to give you the same viewing experience that the app in your smartphone would, but to see what's in the camera's field of view, in my opinion, it's more than acceptable. And so you can see there, you can see me. I mean, it's clear. I like the back of the device. I like this gray, I guess a grayish black color. It looks very nice. It doesn't seem as if it'll reflect light, which is a good thing anytime you're dealing with a camera. Of course, the record button, to record, you just push the record button This is a touch screen, so you can browse through various configuration options from the screen on the back of the device. But if you're like me, probably what you'll want to do is plug it into your smartphone and configure it through the app on the smartphone. I'm going to fire this up here and show you what this looks like here. Let's see. I'm going to get out of this app and get into the app. It's called DJI Mimo, M-I-M-O. So they've got a new app for the Osmo Pocket. Let's see. And it actually says connection help. You can do Bluetooth, or you can do smartphone adapter. So I've got the adapter, so I'm just gonna, and then power it on. And let's see here. I wonder if I need to power it off, and then this is only the second time I paired it with the app, because I just turned it on again to do the initial registration, which was required, or the activation, whatever you want to call it. Okay, now I'm in. Yeah, so I just need to power it off and back on. But you can see here, when it's connected, in my case, to the iPhone 7 Plus, which is the big iPhone, the big body iPhone, not the current model iPhone by any means, but you get a really full-size viewfinder of sorts when you're doing that. So depending upon your use case, you know, it may be a situation where you want to pop out your phone and have that extra viewing real estate to see precisely what you're filming. And then obviously, as I mentioned earlier, within the app, you can go to slow motion, video, photo, or panoramic, and you can change your video modes. You can see your battery life remaining. I've got 86%, and on my SD card I've got 1 hour and 11 minutes and 2 seconds remaining. Again, expand this video's description. You can find a link to the micro SD card that I use, and obviously the Osmo Pocket as well. But I'm filming. I've set mine up for 4K 60. And for my photos, and I haven't, at the time of filming this video, I haven't messed with the photo functionality yet. But for my photos, I'm using JPEG plus RAW. Obviously RAW because I like to color grade my photos in post-production. So, but yeah, initial impressions of this are highly favorable. I mean, the previous Osmos, the original Osmo, you know, it had the camera attached to it. It was a nice device, but it was still somewhat inconvenient. Then they released the Osmo Mobile, which was neat. You could use your smartphone, but then again, you're using your smartphone for the videos and the video storage. And depending upon your smartphone usage, you know, that could pose to be problematic. I mean, you may have a lot of apps, a lot of games, whatever on your smartphone, and you may not have room for videos. What I like about this is that it's completely standalone. I can pop this off. I can put my phone in my pocket or not even take my phone with me. And I've got a fully functional 4K 60. Now that's right, not 4K 30, but 4K 60 camera. So I mean, having that high frame rate at 4K is great. You know, when you want to slow down or speed up a video within post-production, retime a video. You know, having that extra frame rate makes those retime videos look a lot smoother. And that's important if you're really big into videos on YouTube like I am. So you know, again, the standalone nature, and without a doubt, the gimbal. This is not software stabilized. I use the GoPro HERO7 Black, and it's very nice. The software stabilization on the GoPro HERO7 Black is very convincing, but it's not as good as gimbal stabilized. At least I don't think it's going to be. Again, at the time of filming this, I've only filmed the first video using this device. So watch my first DJI Pocket, that's a hard one, DJI Osmo Pocket video, and tell me what you think about the quality and stability of the video. But I would expect a mechanically stabilized gimbal to be a lot better than software stabilized. And the other thing worth mentioning, and I don't have it yet, but as soon as it comes out, I'll be sure to order it. But there's mounts that you can get for this where you can mount it to a variety of different things, monopods, maybe your strap on your backpack, etc. So I'm excited to get that, and then also excited to get the waterproof housing. And I think the waterproof housing is going to be the big seller, because think about a waterproof housing. Until now, we haven't had the option to have a camera, an action camera that has a gimbal that is also waterproof. So when that waterproof, and again, this is not waterproof as it sits, but when the waterproof housing becomes available, having this in a waterproof housing will really present an opportunity to create some really awesome underwater, or not necessarily underwater, but just in wet filming conditions, videos that are gimbal stabilized. So there's a lot of things to look forward to. Look, I just turned it off and it flips like that. And then to put it back in the case, you just the way I do it, to remember which direction it goes, I look at this and I look at that, and I know this sticks up, and I just gently slide it in. Let's see, gently slide it in, and then gently push that down, put that on there to close it. Why did they go half case instead of full? Maybe it's a cost saving measure, but if they had made this a full case, that may have been better, especially if you're throwing this in your backpack, potentially with other gear, and you're hiking, and you know, any time that you're hiking and you're moving, gear rubs against other gear, and even though it's, you know, you may be cautious, it can still cause damage over time, wear and tear. So for that reason, I would have liked to have had a full covering on this side, and also a full covering to cover if you're like me and you attach the optional iPhone connector and you want to leave it on there. You know, you probably want to have that protected too. So just a small gripe. Again, this is just my first impressions video, so you know, there's going to be a lot more coming soon. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, be sure to do so. It's youtube.com/iRickSky. Ring that bell icon, be notified whenever I post another video. And again, expand this video's description. Expand the video's description, and then click the link there within this video's description, and you can find where to order the Osmo Pocket. All of the accessories, as soon as they become available, I'll be listing them there. And of course, all of my review videos, field test videos, photos, and a whole lot more. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe. youtube.com/iRickSky. Y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, iRickSky here. Thanks again for your viewership. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that bell icon to be notified whenever I post another video. If you're looking for iRickSky's Adventure Channel merch, like this t-shirt and a lot of other cool stuff, expand this video's description. You can find it all there. Y'all have a good day.